Welcome everybody to another episode of Soulful Sessions with Madeleine Parker. We're here with our monthly cosmic forecast, and we're coming to you a little bit earlier this month. So we're recording on the full moon, and this podcast episode will be aired later today, and it is January 28th. So we're going to be talking about the full moon today on January 28th. But our forecast will be going through the month of February. So we'll be sharing some really interesting aspects, all in Aquarius, I believe, Madeleine, isn't that correct? Yeah, so we've got a lot of interesting things to share with you about February. But like I said, we're starting off right now talking about this full moon in Leo. So Madeleine, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Amalia, for having me.
Of course.
Here, and I love to do your reports. It's so exciting, especially this month is exciting. February, I'm really blown away by this. I can't wait to talk about it. It's my passion. But we can start about this full moon right now. Currently, it's happening as we speak, which is in the sign of Leo, which is the sign of expression and communication and self-expression, getting yourself out there. So people might be finding themselves today really sort of bursting out because we have it is a romantic energy, Leo. It's the heart, passionate heart. It's fire, it's passion, right? So then we've got, at the same time, we've got other things happening in astrology currently, which could also be playing out, which is a Venus conjunct Pluto. So you could be seeing sort of passionate reveals of love and feelings, or the heart. This is a heart energy. So we're looking at sort of repressed energies coming out from the heart. That would be one way to look at it.
So it could be situations where people are in, let's just say they're in a relationship, and it's clear that there are feelings there, but neither one of the people is able to express it or share it. This would be supportive of that possibility.
Yeah, it could even come out as an argument because we've got squares. So sometimes there are, like, let's say you're in a relationship and you've been repressing an issue or a problem in the relationship, and now all of a sudden you just got to talk about it, and it just comes out. And it could be an argument. It could happen because we've got squares happening too.
Okay.
The sun is conjuncting Saturn. So it could. But it's to purge if it is negative, if it does come out as an argument, you're really purging sort of repressed energies. So it's like this Venus conjunct Pluto is releasing toxicity in love, toxic repression, and it clears it. And when you hit Leo comes in on a full moon and says, no, I'm not going to let you hold this in anymore. Let it out. And then you've released your toxic repression that becomes toxic. Energies that are repressed eventually become toxic because they're not in the air, they're not moving.
So the fact that this is happening on a full moon is significant because it's really highlighting either the aspects of repressed love or repressed anger or some sort of repressed emotion that is being highlighted for release. The full moon is all about that, like showing you your path, where you can course correct, highlighting the things for you to release and let go of, or highlighting a different way to go. So this Venus energy being a part of it is significant if you're in a relationship. And this could be with this thing romantic or also like work related or whatever due to the Venus aspect.
Yes. And it could be just truth. We could look at it as a truth, emotional truth.
Emotional truth.
It could be a sibling relationship. It could be, but again, the point is to purge toxic frequencies in your psyche body. Because when we come into February, where we're having all these planets in a very high Aquarius, see, my throat chakra is really trying to open up right now because of these planets.
Yeah.
But we're really trying to prepare for February, which is like a seeding time where we're having so many planets in Aquarius that we and Aquarian is a very high vibrational energy. So when you ever get these Pluto kind of influences, it's really clearing and purging stuff out that's lowering your frequency so that you can then release these lower frequencies so you can be at a higher frequency for when things go forward, you're matching that frequency.
Okay, so basically it's a clearing out in order to make way for new, while you're also kind of raising your vibes a bit
Yeah.
to prepare for what's coming in February.
Yes, and we have
Okay.
Venus transiting right after this Pluto conjunction into the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of liberation. So we're really releasing and liberating pent up toxic energies that are really stuck, because with these squares in Uranus and Mars and Uranus are in Taurus. They're squaring all this stuff. This is this says Taurus is like the it's sort of stuck energies. They like Taurus likes things to
Stubborn,
be the same,
yeah.
right? So you're getting the movement in love is trying to progress. Things are trying to progress, but there's this stuckness or people not wanting the change. So even in a relationship, you may change your relationship right now because really the heart is going to win. So it's going to push against, some people may end up changing their relationships right now because it's you're in a relationship that's just for stability, and if it's not heart based, these planets are going to push at you to make changes so that you really are aligning with your heart. Because because whenever Saturn goes into Aquarius, we're initiating a 29-year cycle, a new chapter. So the universe is trying to align you with your right relationship, your right job, and your right location. So people are being pushed around and moved around. They're like, I don't understand what's going on. But then they find out, well, the universe is trying to push you and make you land in the right spot for this 29-year cycle where it's going to be very stable. So
But people may be feeling resistance to that.
it's scary because you can't see around the corner, and you think change, and you want to hold on to these stable things that were stabilizing, but the universe the stabilizing energies are to help ground things. They're not supposed to stuck things. They're not supposed to be stuck in it, because the universe is constant flux. So we have to release and let go and allow the heart expansion to occur. And that's the resistance that's happening as we approach this new era. We're really looking at a new era. We're going into a paradigm shift, which is that we are no longer really making choices out of fear and security. We're making more choices based in solutions, in discovery, in technological advancements. The internet's going to explode more, much more, like even more, because Aquarius is the sign of electricity, the internet, social media, technology. So we have to adapt. Adaption is the most survival skill, right? So astrology is always trying to help us adapt to the changes. So this current astrology right now with the squares are going in, are basically motivating you to take action, to adjust to the changes, and to face your fears around changes. But the changes are going to happen.
So basically, it's like, just accept the fact that things are changing. And if you find, so I guess what strikes me, and the way my mind works, I'm always looking for, okay, so if these are the things that are coming, so if there is change on the horizon, there always is, as we all know,
Right.
but some are bigger and some feel heavier than others. So if there's change on the horizon and I can feel there's resistance within me, like, I think, okay, for folks who are listening, like, okay, they're feeling the resistance, they're trying to figure out what to do. It's, ask yourself, when you feel that resistance, is this a resistance coming from fear, or is this a resistance that's coming from, this isn't the right path for me? Because there's a difference between the two. Like, your body always knows the answer before your mind. So I would highly recommend that everyone, I teach this to my clients often, is the recognition of the hell yeah and the hell no in their body. So, maybe pair up with a friend and have them ask you a question that is absolutely, that they know is a hell yeah for you. And then have them ask you a question that's absolutely a hell no for you. And pay attention to the feeling you get in your body, like, for each one. And that will give you your touchstone when you're in these moments of, like, resistance. Ask yourself, am I resisting because of fear? Right. And you'll get one or the other will show up in your body. And it's a great way to just check in with yourself, because I know for myself, my head can carry me away into fear land, and I can't find my way back out. And so that's when I tune into my body, I check in, and then sometimes you may not get a clear answer, which means you don't have enough information to make a decision or make a
Right.
choice. So then you wait, just don't do anything for
Yeah.
a period of time. So I don't know, I just hopefully that helps folks when they are likely met with some resistance, or they're feeling like,
Afraid of the changes that are coming.
yeah.
Yeah, have faith, because these changes are really going to be miraculous. They're going to be great. It's extremely high vibe. We got to keep our vibes up,
Hmm.
right? To sort of align with it, which does mean to not be afraid of these changes, because um, we have to change. The world has to change. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot that we have to change.
Well, and I
And
think most,
yeah,
I was going to say, I think most people are ready for some change. You know,
yeah,
they're really sick of the way things have been
right.
going the past year and a half in particular. Like they're ready for something
Yeah,
different.
well, these squares literally mean motivation. It's action, it's motivation, it's drive. It's going to be driven by the people, these changes, like it was in 1962 when all we had the stellium in a sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but when
Well,
we
yeah.
had
So let's before we go there, let's kind of wrap up the full moon,
sure,
because I am super excited to hear about the changes coming in February. So
yes,
full
yes.
moon wise, any other parts of that, like we were talking about the that Leo energy, about the Uranus and Pluto kind of pushing on
Yeah,
people. There might be some resistance, or there's repressed emotions.
there you really, if you can go with the wind, it sounds so sort of it sounds so cliche, but the more you can, the Native American, I joined a Native American, I was involved with a Native American dream catching workshop I joined last week. It was really fun.
Oh, that
and
does
they
sound fun.
and they have this saying, when you're making your dream catcher, you have to allow the mistakes, you have to allow the flaws, and they say, as the wind goes, allow the process to unfold. And so my dream catcher showed up the way it became. It wasn't how I intended it to be, and it came up the way it came up, and I love it now. But at first I was like, it wasn't the way I wanted it. I wanted it like this, and I wanted it like that. And now I have it hanging, and I just love all its mistakes. I see now why there's a big hole in it. It's like I have a big dream coming. So really what you want to do in general with astrology is really focus on your north node. This is what I teach when I do people's charts. Understand your north node, stay focused on your north node, and you can overcome the hurdles and the battles pretty easy. You just jump over them, leap over them, keeping your eye on. That's what I do this, I teach this eyeball where you write your dream, your destiny, what your north node is, your calling, and you keep your eye on that through the squares, through the challenges. And really what these squares are doing is trying to stop you from being out of alignment. They're trying to stop you from going the wrong way. You're going to get blocks. And so if you're fear-based right now in these energies, you're going to get a lot of blocks. I see it happening with the people I know, people I charts do. Try to pull them into, you're going to want to make choices that are your calling, that are in faith, that are for the good of the whole. You're going to want to activate your Jupiter. Your Jupiter in your chart is where your money is, where your success is, and your higher calling. This energy is to support people. That if you activate, like if you activate your calling, you'll be very supported. So
And so for those who are listening and they're well, that's okay, but it all kind of ties.
yeah, we have this T square right now. There's that T square. There's the full moon. We've got moon in Leo. That's ascendant. We got Saturn. What else is in that square? We've got Jupiter, Sun. Look at the squares. All these squares, Jupiter, it's calling for action. When you get squares like that, it's calling for action. You've got heart, but now it's from the heart, not from the head, which is security, strategy, what I know before,
Mhm.
because what you've known and done before is gone. It's changed. The world isn't that same world anymore. What worked before isn't working today. It's not, because we're changing. So this full moon is, all astrology is always preparing you for a head, get you aligned. And this full moon is connecting you to your true desires, your Leo passion, what's in your heart, what you want to live, what's your truth.
I
And to
think
be proud, and to be like proud of who you are and what you're here to do.
so for people who don't know where any of their planets are, so you can go online and just search for free natal chart, and you can see all of that. And then once you get that, if you're still confused, please call Madeleine to help you help you sort through all of it and narrow it down and have a deeper understanding around where your planets
Yes.
are and how they are, they're your astrological makeup. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of breaking you, I don't want to say breaking you down, but you're comprised of all of these different aspects. And when you understand that, and then you know what's going on cosmically, like with this full moon, you can see, like before we got on this call, Madeline and I were talking, and she looked at my chart, and I have a direct hit today with my Jupiter in Leo, same degrees, the whole thing. And that was related exactly to what she and I were talking about, which is what prompted her to look at the chart. So it was just, it's so amazing when you have those things that line up so perfectly like that. And you're like, whoa, it offers you, it gave me a sense of excitement and understanding around like what's coming and what's to be. And I think most of us
here, where every day that you're alive, we're headed somewhere, we're going somewhere. It's movement and in time, space, reality. And so it links you up with the sort of journey, the fascination, the excitement of your life's journey. And yes, you're getting a major hit today. It's like, I'll be fascinated to know what happens.
Right. Yeah.
You know, this podcast might do something very, very strong for you, you know, because you're doing it right on the full moon. Doing things right on these moon points is pretty, you know, these are active seeds. The energy is sprouting the seed.
It's exciting. Yeah, we'll have to report back in an upcoming cosmic forecast episode. But so all right.
Everybody can look at wherever, if you pull your chart, which is very easy to do. Listen, we're going into the age of Aquarius, where everybody really does want to know their astrology, because that aligns you with your higher calling. You activate your higher calling, you get a universal support, you're going to get financial abundance. So, and security, like you can't conceive it. That's the thing, around the corner, we can't conceive it. So getting in your heart space, you're going to be good. You're going to be guided. You're going to do right. So Leo full moon comes on and says, what's your heart space? Make it loud, make it loud. So I know it. But there was something you said about, yes, my mission is to help people live their Jupiters and their North nodes. That's what I do when I pull your charts. I focus on that. Your mission, your co-mission, who you're co-missioning with, your true Jupiter, what your calling is, and North Node, where you're headed. Then we look at your MC, which is what God wants you. Put all those together, it becomes quite clear.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think a lot of people, because of all the change, are feeling confused and feeling lost. And you know, there has been energetically a bit of a turn everything upside down feeling. And everyone's looking to get their footing and okay, where am I going? And I think that leads us directly into February, which is we'll have some clarification points on that. So you want to share about February, Madeline?
Sure. Talk about February. The other thing I was going to say is that the Neptune right now, we have Neptune in Pisces. So it's interesting that Neptune is in Pisces during all this period, which is confusing. It's the 5D. It's foggy, it's confusion. So it's kind of making you lost on purpose. You're supposed to feel lost right now, because you're supposed to release your old ideas of where you were, or what was found, or what was. So you're in a period of, Neptune comes along and confuses you. So you don't have an attachment to what, and then it's going to appear, then it reappears. You see the start faint, you start to see the ideas coming in, you start to get a clarity. Then you would launch your new destiny that way, because you've been in a period of being lost. We call that 0 point, clean slate.
Yeah. And 0 point, I can tell you just from my life and following this for a while, 0 point is very uncomfortable.
Interesting.
It feels very uncomfortable for me. And other people, clients, other people that I've talked to, where it's like you're in the darkness. Yes, you have all of this that's in front of you that's expansive potentially and exciting and all of that, but right in that moment, you don't know what the heck is going on. Right. And there's so much unknown, and nothing feels stable, and nothing feels secure, and nothing feels safe. Right. And you just have to kind of float along, be, like you said, be the wind, be flexible, and you know, and adapt. Yeah, it'll come clear. You know, it'll get to 1 degree, and then 2, and you know, you'll get there. But it's 0 degrees can be very uncomfortable.
Yep. And it's so we stop thinking the way we think, because in the world, it is in our lives, the most resistance and the most repressed energy that causes our stagnation is our thoughts.
Mm.
So break our thoughts, limit us. So tarot and astrology is always trying to break you out of that limited thinking that's stopping you, because the universe is not limited. It's an unlimited expansive. 1962, 1961, nobody knew that in 1 year the whole world was pretty much going to change. There was a whole technology coming in. So anyway, we're talking now about this, right? So the mind is always stuck on what was and yesterday, and it can't perceive. So when you go 0 point, you're breaking out of the limited mind, and you're going, okay, so what is it then? Where? And you get a lot of people coming to me going, where, what, where, how? And that's where the universe wants you, because now it can say, okay, good, here's where and what now, and it's better and it's new, and you couldn't think of it before. My notes here, and all the planets in Aquarius coming up.
And you said, I think you were sharing with me earlier that there
Yeah.
are 5 planets in Aquarius right now, and that hasn't happened since 1962, which is what you were sharing before. So it's a whole new,
Paradigm shift.
yeah.
We're changing. It's technologies are changing. We are having a renaissance in the technological. We've got the Venus is joining Aquarius a couple days. We've got Aquarius, the sun is in Aquarius. We have Mercury is going in retrograde. I think it might even be is Mercury in retrograde right
I
now?
think it's this weekend.
Oh yeah, Mercury is not technically. So it's going to go into retrograde in the sign of Aquarius.
Okay.
And then we've got Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. So that's 5. And then we've got the new moon coming in February 11th in the sign of Aquarius. We have a full moon at the end of the month in Virgo, which is kind of interesting. Virgo is like sort of fine tuning things, getting the detailed, getting the precision, people having the clarity to know how to start activating. It is scary because a lot of people don't know how to act. They don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They always, when I do reads for people, they go, what do I do? And so in the energy of Aquarius with all the stellium, what you want to do is be really open-minded. I find Aquarians, whenever I know them, they're the most open-minded people. I love Aquarians because I love talking to them, because they talk about anything. They like, their minds are so open. They love the new, the expansive, what's new. So we're really, to have the energy, what you want to incorporate in your life to align with this energy that's happening is you want to be in the excitement of the new, and the shock of the new. It's very shocking because it's like sun in tarot, it's the star card. So it's like out of the blue, shocking, new information, new technology. It's electric energy. It's alive. It's exciting. So, you want to be on that wave. You want to get your life in on that wave, because it's not stagnant. If you're stagnant, you're not on that wave. So everyone is being called to be a part of the new changes. Everyone is being called to activate in their life that new change, because when everyone does that, it all changes. That's why things are going to happen very fast, because everyone's going to sort of do it at the same time. So we're going to get this big new shift where everyone's really using and motivating and being a force behind the new changes, if that makes any sense. So in other words, people are going to align with Aquarian, and in their own life, they're going to activate more technology, they're going to be a part of the more revolutionary ideas. So it's like the people are going to make it happen, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like once you activate it in your own life, it then becomes mass.
So how are people going to feel this? Like, how would this translate into their day-to-day life? Like, as an example, would it be from...
I'll give you an example right now. I'm changing already. I'm shifting my whole client base onto a new app, schedule app. Everybody can make their appointments in advance. I'm going to shift my whole platform a little bit. I'm seeing 111 right now. Everybody wants to align with their higher calling. You want to jump in on the new technological advancements and information. You want to adjust your work, your day-to-day activities to internet, to computer. You want to adapt your work in a way that can expand through the internet or through technology. So in other words, you want to grow with it. So we've got so much information coming in, new advancements. So don't stay on the old way. Don't go the old way. Embrace the new technologies that are coming in. Take the new social platform mediums that are perhaps opening up. Like there's another one that there's another program that links all your platforms. So there's like, so you want to expand. I'm seeing 1111, 1111 aligning with the divine. So you want to your life. You want to take your calling out into the world. You want to join the people. It's about the people. So you got to get out on social media. You got to utilize your platforms more. You've got to embrace the technology and embrace the changes and be optimistic. You want to be optimistic, and you want to have a mission and a dream, and because your visions and your dreams and your ideas, you're going to get ideas with this energy. You're going to get a lot of ideas. You're going to want to go with them, even if they're so different. You think, oh God, no way. Your mind is holding you back. If you get an idea, don't let your mind stop you. Don't say, I don't know how you can do it. Just take that first step. The next step will come. You'll see it. So don't be afraid of the change, like to change your own life, your career, your home, take the expansive things that are coming your way and use them. Like I am. I've had these guys helping me. This guy's helping me with all this stuff. And I was at first resistant. I said, no, I just want to do it the way I'm doing it. I like texting people. I like my own little scheduling. He's like, no, you're really kind of old fashioned here. You're really out of date. You really shouldn't be doing all these texting things and stuff like that in the middle of your appointments. You get text. No, that's not what you're supposed to. And I wanted to resist him and say, no, I want to do it my way. And that's like, nope, I'm going to do it his way. That's what I'm talking about. Like, open up.
So it's kind of experimenting in a sense, you're just going to try some things new, try out something different.
Yeah.
Right. One thing I'm recognizing in myself, I'm resisting in what you're saying is the technologically connecting with people.
Right.
That feels not like I really, I resist social media myself.
Right.
But I recognize its value and its purpose, and respect that. And, what I hear you saying is like, get out there more and connect with people more on these platforms and in that more technological internet stratosphere. And, is that an Aquarius sort of thing? And like, is that something that will take the place of people connecting in person? Because right now that's a big thing where we're no one's feeling good about the fact that we are not able to connect in person. So is all of this happened because it was laying the groundwork for us to get used to that? I don't know. Maybe that's too big of a question.
Right. Well, let's put it this way. Every time in history that we've had these, like another period of when the Gutenberg printing press was invented in 1480 something, and we had a Jupiter, Saturn, and we had some Aquarian stuff going on, which was because it was a new technology, and it brought the people. You could spread information really quickly to a lot of people. Martin Luther pinned his thesis on the church door at that point, which brought down the importance of the Catholic Church because it exposed corruption. So every time you get these technological advancements, what you're doing is you're empowering the people more, and you're getting more. It's about higher quality of life. So these technological advancements are really liberational.
Okay.
This is also the sign of liberation. So it's not supposed to replace human contact and stuff, but it's certainly an added extra layer of it where people can get together on a larger scale. Like you can really impact, like for instance, I can do my work for a lot more people being on the internet than I could just on one-on-one.
Totally get it. Yeah. That makes total sense.
You don't want to not have your family and your close friends around, but then you have like, there's a whole world of people out there that we don't have to be separate from. So in a way, it's like you can talk to people from all over the world now. So it's opening that up too. It's opening up to more people, more friends, more tribal interaction. And then we've got, but you're going to still value your close world. And, you know, it's not supposed to be in separate of, it's supposed to be a liberating factor.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
So
the other
it's,
thing that we want to talk about Aquarius is Aquarius is the energy of freedom, financial emancipation. A lot of this technology is Venus and Jupiter. These are big money. These are big benefic planets. So we're talking about financial abundance in this, liberating. So like you people are going to be able to work much more on the internet. So they're liberated. You don't have to necessarily fly all the way to London to have a meeting. You can have it on Zoom.
right.
So there's a liberation and a financial emancipation in this whole story, where you have more power over your own, you're working more for yourself, you're working more for your own, because you've got your own abilities now with social media to increase your clientele base, and and people knowing who you are, and being out there. You can be known, you know, because of social media. You can get out there.
So you'll be in front of more people because of it versus, you know, not having the opportunity if you're kind of in
Yeah.
your little
Yeah.
bubble, and more people will be on it. So therefore there's potentially more opportunity for further
Yes.
exposure.
See, what happens is and then another thing is that this social media platform and everything is really to help the people be more in their sovereignty. It's really to help people have more of their own, be their own person in the mass.
Can you
So,
give
and
us an example of what you mean by that? Because I'm
yeah,
trying to wrap my head around that.
yeah. So in other words, like sovereignty means you're not reliant on a system. Like you're not reliant on the grid. Your own sovereignty means I'm my own master materializer,
Right.
and I'm an independent master materializer of my own destiny. And and in the sign of Aquarius, it's a mass of people being individual oddballs. So I can be myself. I'm not going to get fired for being myself. I'm not going to have to follow restrictions. I'm free now. I can come on social media and I can work with my clients. I don't have to have a suit and tie on. You're going to
Okay.
get you're going to get kind of a hippie movement where people are like, you know what? I don't need to be a Saturn professional. I can come and be a real person amongst and serve and be and work. So in other words, you're going to get more individualism, people becoming more their individualistic oddballs because they're not afraid of following a restricted grid format. So we're kind of breaking free of that because of social media. Like for instance, a lot of people like psychic, tarot card readers, astrologists would have to be part of like maybe another psychic group. Or let me think of another example. Let's say you're a stockbroker. You normally would work with some big stockbroker, and you would be in that field, and you would have to follow all their rules, all their guidelines. You'd have to show up at the time that you'd have to follow their program. Well, now the stockbroker doesn't have to be on that team. He now has his own clientele base, which he had in that office anyway. He now takes it out of that office. He comes home, does it at home, is just a real person, develops friendships with these people, has an actual friendship relationship with these people one-on-one. They work, they don't need the whole, you know, son and son associates behind them.
Structure. Right. Right.
Right. So you're getting this liberation of the people coming out as their own boss, as their own leader, independent, entrepreneurial people breaking through, showing up. So like, for instance, when you got a lawyer, you went through Han and Han or something, I don't know, I can't remember, company. Well, now your lawyers are going to be coming on, setting up their own platforms because perhaps they don't like some of the choices they make as a company. So now you don't have to do that. You're going to get fired if you don't follow their choice, if you don't follow their protocol, right? But that's scary. You always you got to walk around and follow the rules, or you're going to get in trouble. But you can't be yourself. So now, yeah, go ahead.
So this is like a paradigm shift, like you were saying, where now it's kind of the old structure coming down to make way for a new one that people, you know, I think that we've already begun to see that happening over the course of the past few months, where, you know, that old way of thinking is changing. You know, it's kind of like the old mindset of only, you know, only these people can get married, like this man, this woman, roughly the same age, that's it. Now we're seeing, you know, different ages, we're seeing different nationalities, different cultures, different sexes, all coming together. It's like that's another sign where that's a lot more widely accepted.
Yes, right. And you're going to see like people that are normally corporate types, you know, in their flip-flops on a balcony in Hawaii giving you stock market advice. And you're going to be fine with it. Like
Yeah,
they're not in a coat and tie. You're like, that's great. You're in a Hawaii shirt. Fabulous.
that does sound pretty awesome.
Yeah, we don't. It's kind of like a hippie movement, but in a way, I think the hippie movement in the 60s was so radical that it didn't really mesh with the Saturn energy enough to blend it. But
Okay.
I personally believe this time around with the second hippie movement, which is what I kind of call this, which the astrologers are kind of calling it, it's more like it's a hippie movement and integrating your life and work. So it's like, it doesn't mean you're going to be broke and, you know, camping out on, I don't know what the hippie movement did before, but they lived in the parks or something. I don't know, but they did something really wild. Whereas now we're more integrating, like that hippie movement kind of went away and we went back to being very Saturn, very rigid, very following the grids. But now we're like, oh, forget all that. But we're still working. So it's like it's a more of a blended energy now, whereas before it was like a separate, the hippie movement and then the whole sort of structure government movement. But now we're like, hey, we're really, everyone's relaxed. This is relaxing because Jupiter's on here. It's in Aquarius. This is relaxing, and we're getting like a blending of these forces. Where because you know, it's people want to be people. People don't want to be in little boxes anymore. They don't. Ugh.
So is there anything else in February? Like I feel like we've talked about a lot going on just in the
At least,
5
yeah,
minutes.
you know, we haven't even broken down. Now we're not going to do it, but you could go down through planet, what's happening in February, and then we've got all these squares. We've got Taurus and Mars in the sign of Uranus, so we still could have earthquakes. But again, this is the resistance within yourself and within the mass and within the mass consciousness or within the populace of not necessarily just easily going with it. Like obviously there's going to be like me, like I'm resisting the change. We like that stability, that thing that worked but it's just not, the things from the past just aren't going to work anymore. So that's going to be where people are shaken up a little bit, you know.
They're going to be really pushed to change the way they've been doing.
There might be, you know, in Uranus, we might have some more revolutionary types, people coming out to the streets. We might get a sudden backlash on the COVID thing. You might get people not wanting to, you know, who knows, everybody just saying enough of this. But something is going to happen with these energies where the people are going to care more about their quality of life on a day-to-day basis, that they live a free life. That the energy is just too strong for that. With all these planets in Aquarius, it's about freedom. So it's almost like people aren't going to be intimidated anymore by the rules. And I don't mean people are going to be criminal and do bad things. That's not what I mean. I think people are going to be it's an intelligent air sign. It's intelligent. I think people are going to be intelligent about it and realize we don't have to. And then I think what's going to happen is the government and these things are going to adjust. They are going to adjust. We're going to see new types of politicians coming in that are more people, more relaxed, more socially conscious. You know, it's social consciousness, very, very big. And it's an awakening period to people waking up to their own sovereignty, their own power, their own ability. Because when you study astrology, what you really learn is you have magical manifesting abilities when you know how you were made to do it. You are a seedling. Every little seedling human born was the potential for the universe to expand the world through. So when you know your chart, you can know how you were seeded, what tree you were meant to grow into for the greater whole. And so with these Aquarian energies, it's giving people confidence to do that, to step out. You can make it. You can leave the big corporation and take your gift out into the world on social media. You will get support. That's the scary thing, is people making these changes thinking, well, I don't know how you make money at it. Do you know how many times I hear that? I hear that so many times. And then I get people calling me, contacting me back saying it's starting to work out. They can see it's all working. You live your MC in your Jupiter, the universe just literally hands you things.
So for people listening right now, I think the key takeaways for February are to be open-minded, to to to
Adapt.
to adapt, to explore. It's an exciting time. It's a shocking time. There's a lot of electrical energy, and I think that electrical energy,
Innovations. Mm-hmm.
if I understood you correctly, is to kind of move us to take action, to push us outside of our little box, outside of our comfort zone. And really also, I would encourage people to take the time to really get clear on what it is that you are looking for in your life. Like have a true sense of what would bring me joy, where do I want to be, what do I want to do, you know, because like you were saying, like, you know, you may be a stockbroker in this big firm and you love what you do, but you don't like all the rules you have to follow in order to get your job done. So, you know, really looking at that, those aspects of your life, you know, there's
a lot of people working in flip-flops.
which I think most folks don't have any aversion to the idea of sitting on a balcony somewhere in flip-flops and with their laptop, you know.
And you get people probably leaving the cities because you don't need that anymore. You don't need that sort of location isn't the most important thing anymore, where you're living anymore. You get to choose. You get to live where you want to live. You get to be where you want to be. This is called freedom, and stay financially abundant.
So really, I think action steps, you know, action steps, I'm all about the action steps, would be for people to really just take the month of February as a test run, a little experiment of being flexible, kind of going with the flow of things, being aware of the little signs that are coming in for you. Be aware of resistance, where you might be resisting change, where you might be resisting, like for me, getting
things are going to be starting. So it's a seedling period. So don't squish the little seed. Let it grow, water it, let it.
Tend to it. Yeah. Tend to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if anyone listening needs a little guidance as far as getting a sense of their direction and purpose, having a deeper understanding around what, you know, what their purpose is, why they're here, what their calling is. You know, Madeleine has the astrological aspects down. I can help you with soul contract work and human design and intuitive guidance as well, where really between the two of us, you would be able to, we could craft some. Yes, we could craft something that would really be supportive, but really it's all about you having the sovereignty for yourself and having the knowledge and the information to help you make informed choices and decisions that feel good. It's all about what feels good. So
joy, because remember, the 11th house is social media, technology, the stage, the audience, the people. But remember, it's the 11. It's 11. So what does that mean? It's everybody not leaning on each other, not dependent on everyone, following their higher calling, everyone following the divine. 11 means aligning with God. This is God's soul, your soul. Well, you're all one anyway, but it's about doing everybody, all the people in the world, not closed in on themselves and leaning on it, but everybody going their God way, listening to their divine guidance, that's why it's astrology is the 11th house, because it's listening to God, listening to your divine guidance, because so if everybody's doing that, everyone's lining up to their divine guidance collectively as a mass, suddenly you get this world that's just going to change, like boom, out of this fear mode into this advancement mode of excitement and new, and and ways and solutions to everything that's been not working. So it's like, yay.
So it's the individual becoming their own sovereign. And if everyone begins to do that, then the collective as a whole rises up to a higher frequency, and life feels better. The
potential.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And when everybody lives out there, that seedling, you're born to live either a scared little life or a big brave life, right? So you step out and live your big brave life. The more people do that, the more the world becomes a better place, because the thing, your higher calling, is going to fix the world in some way. It's going to help. And when the world is troubled because people aren't standing for it, people are afraid to live their higher calling. Comedians don't come and be comedians because they don't think they're going to make money because it's not the right thing. Well, we have to have comedians. That's how we raise our vibes. So the more people come forward and live their higher calling and not make choices out of fear, you're going to get a rapid change of the world into a better place, because everyone living their higher calling fixes the world.
That just sounds magical and beautiful and pretty simple, but we all know it's sounds simple, but there are all sorts of challenges and stuff that we find that will get in the way. All right, so thank you, Madeleine. If anyone is looking to reach out to her, she can be found on social at Hows, HOWS of Spirit.
Hows of Spirit on Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel, Hows of Spirit. I'm probably going to put this blog on there, podcast. And do I have any other channels? I have a Facebook, Soul Levels. I'm hardly ever on there. I think that's just the main two. But yeah, Madeleine Parker 111 at gmail.com if you want a reading. Call me, contact me. I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, well, you'll have a new platform coming up soon that you can share.
Getting much more professional.
Yeah.
But also more relaxed, but professional on my social media. So there you go.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. And
your new moon and this whole full moon hitting on your sun, I want an update.
Yes, I mean,
what happens in your life?
We'll talk about it. Yeah, in a future podcast. I am Amalia Natalia. You can find me at karmickindness.com and Karmic Kindness on all social media platforms. And we appreciate all of you listening, and drop us a message, drop us a note, let us know how this resonated with you. Madeleine and I will likely be doing some IG lives coming up in the next few weeks. If anyone who's listening to this has any questions, feel free to tune in to us and bring your questions with you. We would love that. We'll probably talk a little bit more around the new moon and maybe full moon in February, doing some more live things for you guys. So just stay tuned for that. And again, appreciate you guys listening. This will wrap up the latest edition of Soulful Sessions Cosmic Forecast. Thanks for joining us.